at 10 on NTN News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Mina Daniels. The headlines. The federal government sets in motion technical upgrade for media organizations.
The establishment of a dedicated malaria training laboratory is a cornerstone of our intervention strategy.
National Malaria Elimination Program signs MOU with Nigerian Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria to enhance skills of medical professionals.
Times have changed. We should be looking at other set skills that will attract the youth.
Federal government reviews first phase of renewed Help Employment Initiative. And House Committee on Customs visits Seme border, advocates reduction of multiple checkpoints. The federal government has initiated a technical upgrade for media organizations, investing in cutting-edge technologies and state-of-the-art equipment to enhance service delivery. The Minister of Information and International Orientation, Mohammed Idris, announced this during the National Association of Broadcasters Show 2025 in Las Vegas, Nevada. The upgrade aims to replace obsolete infrastructure across federal radio and television stations. The ministry is forging partnerships with broadcast equipment manufacturers to provide local broadcasters with emerging technologies and industry-specific training. This collaboration will strengthen Nigeria's information dissemination framework, ensuring effective communication of the renewed Hope Agenda policies to the Nigerian people. Idris emphasized the importance of strategic communication in achieving this goal. The Nigerian delegation, led by Idris, includes senior officials from key media organizations. They aim to forge new partnerships, explore content-sharing opportunities, and enhance collaboration within the global broadcasting sector. The National Association of Broadcasters Show, themed "The Technology, the Trend, the Future," provides valuable insights into industry trends, covering topics like artificial intelligence, cloud visualization, and sports production and streaming. The maiden National Police Day commemoration has been described by Vice President Kashim Shettima as a recognition of the sacrifices and commitment demonstrated daily by officers across the country. This was at the event at the Eagle Square, where the Vice President represented President Bola Tinubu. Let's join Francis Fom for the report.
Thank you enough, your wonderful mothers. Please.
In a colorful display of unity, officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force gathered in their numbers at the Eagle Square to commemorate the first ever National Police Day. The event featured ceremonial parades, march past, display of air and land assets, showcasing the professionalism, resilience, and sacrifice of personnel. President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, notes that the Nigeria Police Force is a critical part of the nation's internal security architecture, the first line of defense against crime and disorder.
I reaffirm this administration's steadfast dedication to the welfare and empowerment of the Nigeria Police Force. A secure Nigeria is vital for our collective prosperity. These days serves to highlight your invaluable service and to honor the officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. To their families, we extend our deepest condolences and our unwavering commitment to preserving their legacy.
Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun praised the dedication and commitment of officers across the country, noting that the National Police Day is a reminder of the crucial role the force plays in maintaining peace and security.
The declaration of April 7th as National Police Day is not a mere ceremonial gesture. It is a testament to the inestimable value of the Nigerian Police Force to the preservation of national unity and democratic stability. It is a bold affirmation of your administration's support for institutional reform and capacity enhancement of our personnel.
We thank the President for recognizing the fact that the police need to have a national day in which all their successes, their sacrifices are recognized.
The most important thing is to call on every Nigerian to cooperate with the police so that they will be able to assist and support the efforts of securing the nation.
Policing is not for the police, it's not even for the paid agents in security, it's for everybody. So with collaboration, synergy and cooperation among those who are paid to serve the nation in security.
Going forward, April 7th will be observed annually as National Police Day in Nigeria. The event serves not only as a tribute to those who wear the uniform, but also a reaffirmation of the force's commitment to serving and protecting the Nigerian people. Francis from NTA News.
Sweden's export to Nigeria has set to hit $51.81 million in 2024. However, expectations are high in 2025 following several commitments by the Swedish investors. Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar is looking at Nigeria-Sweden relations as he received the Crown Princess of Sweden, Victoria Desiree, in Abuja. Garba Natala reports.
Both governments, Nigeria and that of Sweden, want to explore areas of mutual cooperation in critical sectors. As of 2023, Nigeria imported more than $200 million worth of goods from Sweden, while Sweden exported refined petroleum, plastic products, broadcasting equipment, among others, valued at more than $51 million worth of goods to Nigeria in 2024. However, Sweden indicated interest in investing more in the country.
Ranging from peacekeeping to several reciprocal support agreements. We've always worked well on the international stage where we support each other's candidates.
We are so proud of Swedish companies, approximately around 40 companies at the moment invested already in your beautiful country.
As a follow-up to Nigeria's diplomatic engagements, the foreign minister says the Swedish delegation reciprocated the vice president's visit in November last year, where several Swedish investors committed to investments and partnerships worth millions of dollars in Nigeria's digital economy, health, agriculture, and other critical sectors. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
And Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has again been called upon to lead another health initiative in the country, this time for a campaign to eliminate cervical cancer. This was when a delegation from the National Task Force on Elimination of Cervical Cancer paid an advocacy visit to her office in the Villa. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports that she kick-started her new role with the announcement of a ₦1 billion donation from the Renewed Hope Initiative to the partnership.
As the second most common cancer among women, with a grim figure of 8,000 deaths per year, cervical cancer is considered a major public health concern in Nigeria. Apart from implementing a nationwide HPV vaccination across the country, the National Task Force on Elimination of Cervical Cancer hopes to strengthen its cause with a three-pronged approach of early screening, vaccination, and treatment of victims. This advocacy visit is to further the realization of the task force objectives by enlisting the support of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu.
This year, as part of the 2025 appropriation bill, we have the Renew Hope Health Connect, which is an initiative of Mr. President to take healthcare intervention closer to the people. And one of the things we are going to be doing as part of that Renew Hope Health Connect is population screening for cervical cancer.
And 8 by 8 means that we want to screen 8 million girls every year and vaccinate 8 million girls. At the end of 2030, we plan to vaccinate 40 million girls, screen 40 million women, and treat 10 million women with pre-cancers in Nigeria, and treat 60,000 women with cancer of the cervix.
We are pioneering the establishment of novel preventive oncology clinics, the first of its kind, designed to routinize cancer screening in our tertiary institution facilities.
Taking on the new responsibility, the First Lady pledged the willingness of our initiative to partner with the task force on the federal government proposed Renewed Hope Health Connect to guarantee access to screening and treatment.
I'll start by pledging 1 billion to that. I'll tell you the reason. I also lost someone very close to us due to being quiet and the stigma attached to it. And she's supposed to be very educated and well known, and you wonder, why would you have left it so long?
The advocacy visit coincides with the 2025 World Earth Day celebration, and the First Lady was quick to note the significance of fighting cancer among women and the theme of the day.
There's no better cause than this. If it is a cause to save life, I will gladly do that over and over again. And like your theme today, which is healthy beginnings, we're starting healthy and is hopeful future. I believe that Mr. President wouldn't have picked more slogan for his administration than the Renewed Hope agenda. Our hopes as Nigerians have to be renewed. There's hope in this country.
There is a need for sustainability or cervical cancer screening program using HPV DNA test, which is recommended by WHO.
Within 9 months since the launch of the HPV vaccine in Nigeria, about 12.3 million women have been vaccinated across the country, with another 6 million targeted before the end of this year. In the State House, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
And as part of measures to effectively eliminate malaria in Nigeria, the National Malaria Elimination Program has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Nigerian Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. This partnership aims to enhance the skills of medical professionals, ensuring accurate diagnosis and effective treatment. Over the years, Nigeria has depended on foreign training of malaria microscopics and the diagnosis of malaria. But now, the country will be among nations to host this training. The National Malaria Elimination Program, with its theme, Malaria-Free Nigeria Mandate, has taken its campaign to the doorsteps of the Nigerian Medical Laboratory Science Council, seeking the council's support and the retraining of microscopics.
Is a cornerstone of our intervention strategy. This laboratory will serve as a hub for training both the private and public sector health facilities and research towards equipping our healthcare professionals with the knowledge and skills necessary to implement effective malaria diagnostic methodologies.
While the NMEPP brings national coordination, resources, and focus on malaria elimination, the MLSC contributes regulatory oversight, technical expertise, and a commitment to maintain a high standards in laboratory diagnostics.
42 microscopes and preservation equipment have been delivered to facilitate training. This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We have more reports after the break. Stay with us.
Celebrate Ramadan with Bafi and enjoy up to 40% off on selected products from living room, dining room, bedroom, and royal sets. Pay less, save more, and refresh your home for iftar gatherings and cherished moments with family and friends. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online to enjoy our exclusive Ramadan sale. Let's make this Ramadan unforgettable.
Thanks for joining us again. Key players in Nigeria's immunization program and health security are commending the Nigerian government's commitment to vaccine financing and discussing ways of addressing the funding gap to reduce the risk of vaccine shortage and prevent a reversal of national immunization gains. This was the agenda at a multi-stakeholder forum on optimizing immunization financing in Nigeria, initiated by the Vaccine Network for Disease Control in Abuja. Olushe Adeabo reports.
Immunization is a significant driver of public health, providing protection against a wide range of infectious diseases that causes morbidity and mortality worldwide. The numbers of Nigerian children reached by life-saving childhood vaccines are increasing daily, and these efforts have led to a decrease in the incidence of vaccines-preventable diseases.
If we spend adequate money on vaccine, we would spend less on managing the consequences of those that are not vaccinated. Until recently, we had a lot of support from foreign countries to meet up our vaccine requirement. But those supports has either been withdrawn or will be withdrawn in the near future. So if they withdraw, are we going to fold our arms and allow our children to die? The answer is no.
Despite this progress, there are existing challenges. The exit of the U.S. aid funding and the mission donor support have put Nigeria's vaccine financing in a more vulnerable state, even in the face of a significant number of children with zero-dose cases.
The government is trying. Is really trying, because the budget for vaccination has moved from 137 billion today to 231 billion. It shows you that the government is being proactive. But every other person in that chain must make sure that those monies are released. Now they are funding the LGAs. LGA is going to be having money. So it's now time for us to sit together and determine how all these 3 tiers of government, including the private sector and CSOs, and make sure that vaccines get to all those that need them.
Based on the renewed agenda of Mr. President, this issue of timely release of funds for vaccine must be emphasized.
They are unanimous in their call to action on a stronger collaboration among key players in the healthcare value chain for prompt release of vaccines funds to strengthen Nigeria's immunization system. In Abuja, Oluseye Adeagbo, NTA News.
The Chief Medical Director of the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, UMTH, Professor Ahmed Ahijo, led his management team to Abuja for a visit to express gratitude to philanthropist Sir Emekofo. This is in recognition of Ofo's extraordinary intervention in the fight against cancer through the donation of cutting-edge cancer treatment equipment to UMTH, the first of its kind. Lydia Sampson reports.
Professor Ahmed Ahijo has revolutionized the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, turning it into a world-class healthcare facility. Since his appointment as Chief Medical Director, Professor Ahijo has overseen transformative projects, including state-of-the-art centers for cancer, kidney care and trauma, alongside expansions in radiology and histopathology, setting the benchmark for healthcare excellence in Nigeria and West Africa. With University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital as a hub of medical innovation and patient care. Unfortunately, the 2024 September flood wreaked havoc on the teaching hospital, destroying the state-of-the-art facilities in the hospital. The floods washed away all hope beyond salvation of the subsidized cancer treatment for vulnerable patients offered only by the teaching hospital. Like a godsend, Sir Emeka Offor Foundation came to the rescue. A cancer survivor, Hadiza Aliu Manga, and the CMD emphasized the life-saving potential of the new cancer treatment technology and expressed profound gratitude to Sir Emeka Offor.
Most of the beneficiaries are vulnerable people. Some cannot even afford 50,000, none of 500,000. So it's just like a bonus to us.
It's a honor that we'll never forget. It will be an example to all other Nigerians.
For Sir Emeka Offor, who usually is a silent solution provider and philanthropist, the visit was more than he expected, as eminent Nigerians took turns to speak on his untiring interventions in healthcare, education, as well as personally impacting lives positively across Nigeria.
The kind of brotherhood and sisterhood that connects us around Sir Emeka Offor are those that really and truly are there for each other.
This is what we need to make this country to grow, to develop. We must show passion, we must show leadership, we must show vision.
We are very proud of him to be a Nigerian that is completely detribalized.
He's a man that believes that being wealthy is about touching and impacting on the lives of others. He's a man that believes that the impact you make on humanity is what defines you as a human being.
And now, the man of the moment.
I was born in the northern part of the country, Kafanchan to be precise, and then I owe it to God. So we will continue to support the tertiary institutions. We will continue to support the government of Nigeria.
Sir Emeka Offor, an entrepreneur and philanthropist, is continuously making profound impact on vulnerable communities through his foundation, established to alleviate poverty, focusing on education, healthcare, youth empowerment, and widows support. Offor's initiatives include distributing millions of books and computers across Africa, supporting polio eradication efforts with Rotary International. His contribution is extensive throughout the globe. Little wonder many speakers here are categorical that Emeka Offor exemplifies the transformative power of philanthropy in uplifting marginalized populations. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
In Nigeria, in January this year, a total of 88 primary healthcare facilities were flagged off for upgrade across Kogi State, with an official completion deadline set for April 31st, 2025. In this report, Jonathan Amajali takes a look at the progress of work made so far in meeting the target.
When Kogi State Government, in collaboration with the World Bank's Impact Project, announced plans to upgrade 88 primary healthcare centers to Level 2 status, equipped with state-of-the-art medical equipment, staff quarters, constant electricity, clean water and round-the-clock security, it sounded almost too good to be true, given the previously dire conditions of many of these facilities. The bold initiative was met with widespread excitement and hope. Day by day, the transformation is becoming a reality. Dilapidated buildings are being torn down and modern structures are rising in their place. While several sites have already been completed, construction continues at others.
This project is so surprising anyway, because we did not expect it when it came. They have been talking about it. We did not even thought that they would bring it this fast.
And they build where doctor can stay after work, both staff quarters. And they are planning to dig borehole too.
With the project deadline set for April 31st, the Executive Director of the Kogi State Primary Healthcare Development Agency has been actively monitoring the contractors to ensure timely delivery and adherence to standards.
I can say on the average, we have achieved over 70 to 80%. We are charging them to ensure that they complete this project so that they can meet up with the deadline, which is suspected to be around 31st of April. Though there are some challenges, but we've been trying to see how we can navigate through to ensure that they meet up with the time frame.
As these ambitious projects promise to redefine healthcare in the state, residents look forward with anticipation to their completion. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
The Accountant General of Bauchi State, Sirajo Mohammed Jaja, has been arraigned before a federal high court sitting in Maitama, Abuja. Jaja was arraigned alongside a Bureau de Change operator, Aliyu Abubakar, and his company. Others involved in the case who are currently at large include the former Secretary to the Bauchi State Government, Ibrahim Kashim, the incumbent Secretary to the State Government, Aminu Hamayo, Saleh Mohammed, and Balarabe Abdullahi. The defendants are being prosecuted by the EFCC on a 9-count charge bordering on money laundering, diversion of public funds, and criminal misappropriation of funds to the tune of more than 8 billion naira. Following their pleading not guilty to all charges, the prosecution counsel, Abba Mohammed SAN, requested a trial date and urged the court to remand them in correctional facility, while defense counsel Mohammed Ndayako SAN and Chris Uche SAN moved applications for their bail. After hearing both parties, Justice Iguatu granted bail to the defendants in the sum of 200 million naira each, with 2 sureties and like sum, and the sureties must be residents of Abuja, of which one must be a federal government employee not below grade level 17. Pending the perfection of their bail conditions, Jaja, the first defendant, was remanded in Kuje Correctional Center, Abuja. The case is adjourned to June 17th for commencement of trial. The first phase of the Renewed Hope Employment Initiative of the federal government is already impacting significantly in creating employment opportunities for Nigerians. At a review of the initiative in Abuja, Director General, National Directorate of Employment, Saleh Sagara, said more skills acquisition programs that are aligning with trending marketing opportunities will be adopted in the second phase of the scheme. Joseph Otsen reports on the review of other activities carried out under the scheme across the country.
Flagged off on the 6th of December 2024, the Renew Hope Employment Initiative has already provided entrepreneurship skills to more than 30,000 unemployed Nigerian youths, with about 5,000 further empowered with starter packs and loan facilities. And here in Abuja, coordinators of the program across the country converge to take stock of the success so far, with trending innovations in mind ahead of the second tranche.
Times have changed. We should be looking at other set skills that will attract the youth. And because we have a lot of graduates roaming the street, not all beneficiaries are looking for starter packs. Some are looking for the knowledge.
For agric farming, we have a farm in Agbowa, that's Ekpe, Ikorodu. Then we also have one in Ekpe. So we were able to get these trainees to the areas that were, the training centers that were closest to them.
Because most of the youth here, I don't know, they are more interested in ICT. So hairdressing, fashion design for the women, and most for the youth, computer.
As part of efforts towards reducing unemployment and boost small-scale businesses, the Directorate is building marketing shops and donating to entrepreneurs across the country. Many in states like Jigawa, Oyo, Oshun, and Nasarawa, among others, are already counting their blessings.
They should use it properly. They should not allow any hoodlums to come over and take it over.
The scheme is targeting creating more than 100,000 entrepreneurs within 3 years. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
We have more coming your way in a moment.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Welcome back. The federal government says the National Youth Service Corps NYSC reform is inevitable in the country and must meet modern-day realities. Minister of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande stated this at the 2025 NYSC Annual Management Conference in Abuja. Olainka Ojo reports.
These are members of the NYSC management across the country. They are gathering here to take stock of the course operations from the past, examine the present, and explore ideas for the future.
With a view to developing strategies and programs that will consolidate on our achievement and provide solutions to identify challenges for better operations.
This conference intends to focus on issues such as leveraging technology and innovation for an improved NYSC operations and core members management, as well as strengthening the role of the NYSC in social inclusion policy of the government to meet the aspirations of Nigerians.
Both our clients, the young graduates we administer during their one-year national service, and Nigerian society have recently demanded a change in the way and manner we conduct our business or discharge our responsibilities. The conference also helps to establish a new agenda for the scheme in its dedicated efforts to take center stage in our pursuit of national development.
To reduce unemployment, which appears to be a bane of the society, Youth Minister advocates for a national youth internship scheme as part of the NYSC.
With the companies that will come and train you, with the kind of training certifications that you will have, you will be happy after 1 year to be a man of yourself. You will be viable. If it's for job market, fine. If it's for individual whatever, fine. If you want to have your own company, fine.
The minister also used the conference to warn protesters not to destroy public property or disrupt public peace. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Fresh data from the Debt Management Office reveals that Nigeria spent a total of 13.12 trillion naira on debt servicing in 2024, representing a 68% increase from the 7.8 trillion naira recorded in the previous year. Details with Alika Wanachi Arwa on Business News.
report showed that the debt servicing costs recorded in 2024 surpassed the budgeted allocation of 12.3 trillion naira for the year. Higher than expected expenditure highlights the increasing pressure of debt obligations on the nation's fiscal sustainability. The report also shows that the domestic debt service cost for 2024 stood at 5.97 trillion naira, reflecting a 14.15% rise from the 5.23 trillion naira recorded in 2023. The significant increase is attributed to higher interest rates and increased domestic borrowing. Meanwhile, the federal government has made moves to activate Climate Change Fund, align finance with Green Agenda. Collaborating with the Director General of the Nigerian Climate Change Council, NCC, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, says there is need to advance efforts to operationalize the country's Climate Change Fund, CCF. The meeting focused on aligning Nigeria's economic planning with its climate commitments, including the push towards net zero emissions and the delivery of third-generation nationally determined contributions. Let's take a look at Monday tradings on the floor of the exchange. With business news, Alika Okwanachi, Arua.
Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Oluyemi Oluyede says more security personnel will be deployed to Bokkos local government area for safety of lives and property of citizens. This was during an engagement with critical stakeholders in Bokkos. Ijoma Ozemena has the report.
The engagement with critical stakeholders from the affected communities followed the disturbing security situation in Bokkos local government area and its environs. The coordinated attacks on communities have led to loss of lives and property, disrupted livelihoods, and deepened divisions amongst the people. This engagement, therefore, was convened to address those issues and seek sustainable solutions for lasting peace. The Chief of Army Staff assures the people that perpetrators of the heinous act will be arrested and made to face the full wrath of the law. He asks the troops to be neutral, professional, and fair to all, irrespective of ethnicity and religion.
We can't rely permanently on kinetic approach to issues. So with that, I'm going to meet the governor of the state and deliberate with him to see how we can resolve these issues.
As part of his engagements, the Chief of Army Staff was at 332 Artillery Regiment in Shendam, where he inspected a quarter guard. In Shendam, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has deployed immediate relief items to victims of attack in Bokkos local government area of Plateau State. This is in line with the presidential directive for NEMA to move in immediately and provide succor to the victims. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
This is the third time communities in Bokkos local government area of Plateau State are experiencing the government attacks that claimed many lives and property worth millions of naira destroyed. Available records indicate that 5 communities in Bokkos local government area of the state were affected in the latest attack, with more than 1,000 people displaced and more than 50 others lost their lives in the attack. Houses were destroyed, while foodstuff and livestock carted away by the attackers. Some of the victims commended the federal government for the immediate response.
How do you feel? We feel very happy. We don't know that the government even know us from that far village.
I didn't know that the federal government knows us like this, and seriously, I'm very, very happy.
The NEMA Zonal Director, on behalf of the DG NEMA, Zubaida Umar, consoled the government and people of Plateau State over the tragic attack.
So the main purpose why we come to this local government is to deliver this support given by the federal government. So, and as we can see, we have started the distribution.
We have seen all those who are affected. We have been to hospitals. Now we're in the displaced camp to hand over these relief materials.
Items delivered include mattresses and mat, grains, and other condiments. The NEMA team earlier paid a condolence visit to Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang, who was represented by his deputy, Josephine Pio. The NEMA team had also visited the victims at the Plateau State Hospital, currently receiving treatment. From Bokos local government area of Plateau State, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
The House of Representatives is advocating a reduction of multiple checkpoints at the Seme border and deployment of technology to enhance e-customs operations and promote trade facilitation along that axis. This was when members of the House Committee on Customs visited the Seme border for oversight of customs operations. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikben reports.
Customs officers keep eagle eyes at the Badagry Seme Krake border post, said to be one of the busiest in the country. The Seme Area Command oversees the area, yet it is prone to smuggling of contraband items. However, the command accounts for 75% of overall customs revenue, realizing 1.9 billion naira for first quarter 2025 alone. These points underscore the maiden visit by the House Committee on Customs to Seme border to look into the books of the command and assess operational challenges.
In your operations, we need to know whether it facilitates trade to encourage more patronage of our ports and border stations than our neighboring countries. Because in Night Assembly, we ordered most of these surveillance gadgets, artificial intelligence for the border, which I believe by this year some of them will arrive. They will arrive, they will deploy them here to help monitor like 100 kilometers radius where human being cannot access.
The activities of your men on this road has paralyzed the economy of Badagry. Let me put it straight to you. When you mount 15, 20, 30 roadblocks on the road,
what do you do that you have accumulated over time?
A lot of Nigerians believe that if your members are not, in cooperation with the criminals, a lot of these crimes will not be, effective. So
every day here, we seize cannabis, and when we seize them, we hand over to the ADLA. In Nigeria, we have 1,400 unmanned borders, 114 manned borders. So even if you line up the whole custom officers along this route, it might be quite difficult for them to eradicate smuggling.
Members of the committee saw for themselves the threat posed by ocean surge, gradually encroaching on customs facilities at the Seme border.
There's need for embankment here. In 2025 budget of custom, this must be there.
Customs officials and other security personnel work tirelessly here at the Seme Krake border to curb smuggling activities which continue on daily basis. But there is advocacy that more men and technology are needed to effectively combat smuggling and safeguard national revenue and the economy. From Seme border, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Thank you, Mitaire. And the participants in the 2025 Inter-Brigade Corporal and Below competition have been charged to give their best, compete with zeal, and bring glory to their respective formations. The General Officer commanding 8th Division Nigerian Army, Sokoto Major General Ibikunle Ajose, gave the charge during the flag-off ceremony held at the 26th Battalion Jingia Barracks, Sokoto. Abdullahi Omar Ilalu completes the report.
The idea behind the competition is to enhance leadership qualities, organizational ability and initiative among non-commissioned officers, while also promoting esprit de corps among troops. It also aims to improve battle readiness, assess physical fitness, and strengthen inter-unit and inter-formation cooperation in the execution of their constitutional duties. Flagging of the event, the General Officer commanding 8th Division Nigerian Army Sokoto, and Commander Sector 2 Operation Hadarin Daji, Major General Ibikule Ajose, represented, reiterated that the competition aligns with the philosophy of the Chief of Army Staff. This philosophy is centered on transforming the Nigerian Army into a well-motivated and combat-ready force, capable of effectively discharging its constitutional roles in a joint and multi-agency environment.
In as much as our dear country is currently facing the threat of security threats, compounded by asymmetric nature of these threats and dynamic disposition, our conventional roles as junior leaders underscore the need for us to come together and train together.
The participating formations include 117 brigades, the garrison, 48 engineers, and 58 signals brigades. The week-long competition features events such as swimming, map reading, and arms handling, among others. From Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, NCPC, is set to collaborate with relevant agencies for the promotion of pilgrimages by Nigerian pilgrims. The development was disclosed by NCPC Executive Secretary Bishop Stephen Adegbite while receiving a delegation from NIM and the Commission. The Bishop emphasized the importance of effective management in organizational growth, stating that President Bola Tinubu's vision for Nigeria is renewed hope for total restoration, and effective management is key to attaining this. This is also in line with the NCPC slogan of service and satisfaction.
We are, and that is what Mr. President wants to do, to get Nigeria out of the woods. And he needs you, he needs me. He cannot do it alone. And it's the reason why we also said to other appointees, whatever Mr. President have done through your home ministry, showcase it to the world. Let people know what you are doing through his efforts.
This is the news at 10 on NTNS 24. Here is a recap of our major stories. Federal government sets in motion technical upgrade for media organizations.
The establishment of a dedicated malaria training laboratory is a cornerstone of our intervention strategy.
National Malaria Elimination Program signs MOU with Nigerian Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria to enhance skills of medical professionals.
Times have changed. We should be looking at other set skills that will attract the youth.
Federal government reviews first phase of renewed Hope Employment Initiative. House Committee on Customs visits Seme border, advocates reduction of multiple checkpoints.
This is NTA News 24.
Professor Anthony Adegbolugbe, a distinguished academic and minister of God, marked his 70th birthday with a memorable celebration that began with a heartfelt Thanksgiving service at the Christ Apostolic Church, All Saints Chapel, Abuja. The event brought together family, friends, colleagues, and well-wishers to honor the professor's incredible contribution to education and society. Ekene Ndului has it all.
Through prayers, hymns, and testimonies, the Thanksgiving service celebrated the wisdom and dedication that have defined Professor Adegbolugbe's illustrious career as an academic, businessman, and pastor at the Christ Apostolic Church. It was a moment of reflection as the celebrants spoke on events that shaped his life.
I said what shaped my life, all my life,
It's been a story of grace. And that story of grace is not ending yet. It's still unfolding at the age of 70.
He's ready to do anything for his children, for me as a wife, and for anybody that comes his way that needs help.
It's an epitome of goodness, kindness, love, generosity, and such a simple and humble man.
This celebration continued with a grand reception that showcased the professor's influence and legacy. Professor Adegbulugbe is also the Chancellor, Joseph Ayo Babalola University, Osun State, and was renowned for being the best graduating student from University of Ife in 1976, with a perfect grade point average of 5.0.
He is a genius. You can see that from his profile, both in and out of academics.
He's full of humility, understanding, very hardworking, and compassionate.
He's completely tribalized. You wouldn't know what tribe he belongs to when you meet him. He's fearless.
The cutting of the birthday cake represented a new era in the life of the professor as he joins the League of Septuagenarians. Jesus! Two books written by the professor were also unveiled at the event. To crown this celebration, the Christ Apostolic Church in a later event inaugurated Pastor Adegbulugbe as the first superintendent of the All Saints District Coordinating Council in FCT. Talking about double celebration. Tensions about tariffs among countries, especially between the U.S. and China, are escalating. Former President Donald Trump has threatened a 50% tariff on Chinese goods unless China lifts its 34% counter tariff. This move could potentially raise the overall tariff rate on Chinese imports, stoking fears of an intensifying trade conflict between the two major global economies. Solomon Abdul-Wahab reports.
President Donald Trump is threatening to add 50% tariff on Chinese goods. This comes after he already placed 34% tariff on Chinese imports. Trump's plan also includes a minimum of 10% tariff on nearly all American trading partners. China responded by calling Trump's action bad and rejecting what they saw as unfair from USA.
If it isn't removed by tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we're putting a 50% tariff on above the tariffs that we put on. So they've gone for years. They've become a rich country because of people, again, that were in the White House that allowed this to happen. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year they'd make on us on trade, and it shouldn't be that way.
Analysts are indicating that if Trump goes with this threat, U.S. companies could end up paying a total of 104% in tariff on Chinese goods. This situation raises concerns that the trade war between USA and China could get even worse. In Abuja, Suleiman Tabu Abdul-Wahab, NT News.
And that concludes the news at 10 on NTNS 24. Thank you for your company. I am Mena Daniels.